And good morning, everybody. Welcome back into the Dragon's Den. Hello there, Shrimp Father, Mr. Wizix, Epic Man 340. Welcome on in. I hope everybody's doing well this fine Saturday morning. I was able to get a little sleep last night after we got done streaming. But you will notice that there's stuff missing up here. And if I switch over to the bench side, the tool head's partly apart and everything. So I think what's happening, it feels like we're skipping or jamming, but I don't believe we are. I think what we're doing after we fixed the fact that our idler gear came out yesterday, so we had this apart once or twice yesterday. But as you can see, we're all the way through, right? But something keeps hanging the filament and it keeps jamming. So what I decided to do was take it apart, and I wanted to look at the M3 nut, the M3 nut, and there's a threaded insert under the bottom here that we had to drill out. And I'm just wondering if I still have some type of a lip there. And that may be what's causing the issue and causing the filament to snag, because it's cutting. It's just not, I'm just not getting a good, reliable feed. What I'm doing is I'm using my phone to look at this nut. And I can still see the hint of a thread in there. So I want to ream this out again and make sure that it's really nice and smooth as you're building your filomatrix this morning. Very good, very good. Yeah, this has been a fun little journey of troubleshooting, because like I said, it feels like, okay, this is gonna be it. We've got it, right? And then it's like, well, crap, that wasn't it. All right, well, this should get it. No, well, crap, that wasn't it. So one of the things I did this morning was I went back to into the standard cut macro. I added a second pass for the cut macro, so it does a double tap. I unscrewed the screw out some, and then I let it go like negative 1.25. So I've got about 12 millimeters of travel in the cut. I also noticed that my cutter was a little loose. That's now been tightened down. As you can see, I'm moving the whole printer by moving on that cutter. So long story short, I believe at this point, I got two good cut ends. I'm just not getting, we're just not getting the filament to reliably feed. Now let me try and take a look at this on my magnification. See how we're doing now. And mind you, it tells you to use an M3 nut and to drill the the threads out of it. So this will be bigger than the filament. So you need to make sure on your PTFE tube that you have to scallop it or, chamfer the inside. Oh, buddy, I used a 3mm because with a 2.5, you're not cutting the threads, which means you're going to have little ledges that can get caught. Yeah, using a 2.5mm drill on a 3mm nut does not make sense to me because you're going to leave threads behind. And threads are going to cause things to catch and hang. In fact, that's why I just use a 3mm reamer, was to get rid of any chance that the drill left a thread behind. And I want to have a good passage from top to bottom. That is my thinking, that is my thought process. Okay. And I want to take the top off here and check the M3 heat set insert as well for the same reason. So I need to disconnect my CAN bus cable. Need to move our CNC tap sensor and our X in stop. I really do appreciate everybody that hung out with me last night. It was a long stream. Like within 2 hours, we had the box turtle all back together and everything was reassembled. And then it was just, we'll say, pain after that. That's good. This one back in. And unfortunately, there's no easy way to do this because I am seeing threads in here. And I keep dropping the screws off of this thing. So I tried not to go very, very deep in there because I don't want to get any shards up in extruder. Go a tiny bit more. I just want to make sure I have a really, really clear path. Okay. All right, so that seems to be a clearer path now. Like I said, this is the only other thing I can think of as to why it's jamming, because we've taken out the cut. We went down to a more simplistic cut macro, and I can tell that it's cutting now. Or we'll back off the last two filaments that were used on the last print, and we'll look at the ends to see, make sure that we were getting a cut. Pretty sure we were. Darn it. Fingers worked this morning. No, we have not had coffee yet. Work with me, not against me. So this one, the head of the screw won't get through the hole like the other one. So you have to kind of come up underneath. And probably should have started this one before I did the other one. Sorry, I'm gonna turn this around so I can see it a little bit easier. It won't be good for the camera, but it'll be good for me to be able to see and not get just keep blocking it head. Camera, my head. I did also take the box turtle partially apart today to try and fix those lights. And the lights are connected right. And I tried to check the wiring in the first two lanes because the first light's coming on. So you would think that it would have to be between the outbound wiring of lane 1 and the inbound wiring of lane 2. They're all they all appear to be good solder joints. They all appear to be good crimps. So then I was like, well, I don't need it for serial, so the hell. Printing first, bling later. I told you guys how much I enjoy these little AST PH 1.25 connectors. Because these things really are the bane of existence. Whoever invented them needs to be taught. Yeah. How about let's stop trying to put a 3-pin connector in a 2-pin. That'll be the first thing. Coffee. Hey, zombie, how's it going? Yeah, we do need the box turtle logo as an emote. We also need to. I was going to make a comment, but I think I will refrain from that comment because it was. I haven't had enough sleep. Did get some sleep last night, not nearly enough. How about you, zombie? How are you doing today? No, I basically like streamed all the way through your stream apparently. Okay. And the one thing I forgot to put in was our spring again, which ought to be fun now since I got wires connected up. These again. Don't stream on Fridays. Okay. Well, good. Because we were streaming for quite some time last night. This started through the drop the screw again. How many times I'm going to do that today? Oh, you're killing me. Sorry, gang. Oh, there it is. I lost the screw. You gotta get the screw up and at least to where it'll hold the first washer in place. By slight sideward pressure with a finger. Push your spring down to get your lever in line. Push up on that screw. Okay, so now that you've got the one washer, the screw, now you need to back the screw off just enough that you can slip the other washer in. So we were doing a lot of troubleshooting last night and we're still not over the hump. Wish I could figure out whatever the final magic is to get this thing working. That's good. Just out of curiosity, how much travel does the Philometrics have? See if your stealth changer made it through the night. Trying to figure out at the point of dang, this thing like pushes 20 millimeters to from full extension to full depression of the um cutter. And I say that because I never measured it. I don't remember it ever saying anything in the Philometrics or Happy Hair documentation about what that distance should be. There. Down. Close. Minute. Just switching the over under of a couple of these wires to see if I can solve whatever um like positional issue I was having and why the NAMI wasn't turning on. Thought we were good, and it's trying to trick me again. Okay, so I think cooking with gas now, and we're tool heads back up. We tested that the filament path is good. Now all we have to do is heat things up and see if we can get the filament that is currently in the tool head heat throat heat break area to push through. Don't know why it shouldn't, because we're not doing a retract anymore. At least I'm not telling it to do a retract in my macro. That one's put on. Now we just need to put our cable back in. Which of course I should have put in before I closed the door. That cable in, it's going to help put this. That one's in. Put cable locking one in. Don't put that on just yet. Turn ourselves around again. Okay. I don't have box turtle connected, so it'll complain about that if I don't. Let me put the box turtle back up there so I can get it connected in. Oh. And turn the power on. You complain about. Come on, wakey, wakey, wakey. Thank you. Okay. Software-wise, we should be back up. Switch over to the bench side camera, so this one. Back up. We got our NAMI happy again. It was a alignment issue. We weren't in the lowest two pins. We're gonna do a quick fan check, make sure we're getting fans. Got the part cooling fan. Got a little bit of a grind going there. Have a hot end fan. We have a hot end fan. Okay. So I still haven't figured out the lights. Like I said, I took this lane out and checked the wiring, retouched up some wiring. I did do the connectors correctly for the daisy chain, so that's right. Then I checked this one, and it would have to be between the output here and the input here. All the wires line up. The wires look good. I checked the solders on this board. I don't know why, when I cut these, why I lost all these lights. This means I need to apparently redo them all. Okay, so we're up to temp. Let's just see how we're doing and if the filament that was left behind can be pushed through, or if it's truly stuck in the throat. Nope, there it goes. So good cut, good ability to push through. Don't necessarily like that I'm seeing two different colors on that. Verify that we're pushed through, that we're coming out clean. That closed, get this back up here. I'm not sure if it'll show up on camera, but texture-wise, this is the first part of the filament that came out. And you can see it's kind of crappy, almost like it was under extruded. Here's the second part that came out that was further up in the throat. So that's interesting. From a side note, why failed to pull out the filament? Oh my. Retry. Yeah, so the issue right here is it's getting down on the side and that filament just broke. Not completely, but we'll see if it'll work. Yeah, the filament's like coming down on the side here and getting caught in the side. So, hey Pez, how's it going, Liz? I didn't get coffee run this morning. I just made some because I was tinkering with this morning before stream. What was it I wanted to do? We cleaned out that. I know I'm going to have to bring that back down. Probably not all the way. That was weird. End stop X still triggered after retract. Oh, crap. Did I put that in the wrong position? Why would my end stop still be triggered? How was your sleep, Liz? Hopefully you were able to get some sleep. Sleep happened, now laundry's happening. There you go. Yeah, I did get a text from Mrs. Dragon this morning that she was at the airport on her end, so that's good. Speaking of which, Alexa, set an alarm for 12:30. Afternoon. Is that for the morning or the afternoon? Jeez. Come on, toolhead, cool off. Yeah, I need to stop. She gets in, I want to say it's 2:10. So if I stop at 12:30, that gives me a couple of minutes to get things straight, get squared away and in the car. Yeah, Short stream today, so that's why we streamed for 8+ hours yesterday. Thanks, Liz. Almost there, down in the 60s. Once this gets below 50 and the hot end fan stops, I will shut her down so I can take a look at that X-end stop. Who am I kidding? I want to slide this around, so I want to take this off real fast so I can turn this around to make it easier for me to look at this X-end stop. Do the power cable. It was easy. Pretty sure I plugged it in, but doesn't mean I plugged it into the right spot. Yep, I didn't. I plugged it into the one below it. It isn't one thing, it's another, isn't it? Liz, I will say I'm excited for next weekend. I've got, what, 3 days of work this week because Monday is a day off for my company. So they've been doing these days for me as ever since COVID started or shortly afterwards, kind of like just a mental health day. And so this is a next day for me is on Monday, which is good because I need one. Gives me time to spend with Mrs. Dragon. Okay. You want to put that in the back there. We'll turn this back on. It'll do its little thingamabobber. Interesting to know why it does that, and it's only lane 4 that does that. Okay, now let's see if we can home, first off. Yay, that works. Figures when you plug the cable into the right spot, things work. Who would have thought? Okay. So currently, if I do a cut routine, let me bring you guys a little bit closer over here as I tell it to do a cut routine. So it's going to about right there. There's a little bit more room left. So I could either extend this out more or I guess I can try and extend this out more. The question is how much more do I have? Park. Yeah. I'd have to do a longer thread. I think this is a 16. Go ahead and do a 20. Oh, why the hell? Do a 25. So let me, where are we at? Bring myself over closer. 295, so go. Just made contact there. Whoops. So contact at 16. All right, so that was full range of travel goes to 0. So I have 16 millimeters of travel right now at that point. So I need to tell it, I need to change my macro on the cut to go to go to 0.5, 0.5, behavior. You're liking filament? Oh, not liking Filamatrix very much right now. Well, I have the parts coming for Snappy. Hell, they may be here today. I'm getting 4 packages from overseas today, so it should be arriving today. All right, so let's take a look at this. We'll home it again because we'll have to home it. And like I said, I'm just trying to do max travel to make sure that I am getting a solid cut because we kept getting what looked like formed tips. The only thing we could come up with was it may not have been cutting fully. Okay. So I think we're going to be good there on cutting. So I'm saying silly, and I'm just sitting here thinking. Now what the hell? Let's just send it. Yeah, I ordered the parts for Snappy. They should be here in the next couple of days, along with another set of, well, I've already got the respooler motors. I'll need I just realized this thing is not, damn you. Spool people, you need to fix your frickin' spools. I should not have to sit here and have a thought of, do I need to respool every frickin' spool? Sorry about that. I'm just getting annoyed. I just want you to print. All I want you to do is print. But it's because it comes out to the side and it's got like 2 or 3 layers on top of it, so it's getting wedged on the side of the spool. But yeah, so I want to do a Snappy, and I have the parts for Snappy coming in. They should be here in this next batch, and then I'll have the stuff to do another box turtle, and I thought it was coming in already, but it's not. Thursday, I believe it is. I'm supposed to get my AFC light board. That'll be nice to get in, because that'll be the board to use instead of doing an MMB. I can build one with an MMB real fast, but I don't want to have to redo all the wiring, because I won't need the MOSFET either. It'll just be the one board. But we're almost heated up with the bed, and then it'll get started. We're going to go ahead and leave the side off for now, just so I can continue to watch the cutter and make sure that there's no issues at the cutter. But we're so close. I mean, it's obviously working to a point where we're getting, filament pushing through. We've got a print started. It's just after the first 4 or 5 changes, we wind up with a jam. Hey, Mrs. Dragon. Mrs. Dragon is coming home. She will be late. Plane broke. They're bringing us a new one. Oh. All right, guys, we got longer stream then. Mrs. Dragon, please update us with the new arrival time so I can make sure to be there on time. And if you have any updates from the conversation we had last night, please text them to me. Hey, 3D Medic Vince, how are you doing today? Yeah, I was so looking forward to just a chill stream last night. We were going to get everything put back together. Everything was going to work, and we were going to print, and it was going to be great. And then we'll start working on the other one. We spent 8 hours yesterday troubleshooting. I mean, like I said, ArmoredTurtle's working fine. A couple of issues with one of the cardboard spools, but that's to be expected. Other than that, ArmoredTurtle itself has been working fine. All the jams are happening down here in the tool head. And the only thing I can think of is it's filometric. So if we do build one that has the cutter on the back of the... Oh, okay. Sounds good. I did go to bed after stream last night after we raided into the profits. So I did get some sleep, and then I got up this morning and tinkered with the ArmoredTurtle a little bit. I checked the wiring on these two, and they are wired correctly, like output to input and so forth. But yeah, I even touched up some of the solder joints, and it's still not working. So the only thing I can think of right now is maybe one of the crimps. So I'll have to take a look at that, but that's going to be a later project. Right now, if it prints, it prints. Last night, ArmoredTurtle said lights aren't an issue. So see, Mrs. Dragon, we keep getting like that far. So about 3 or 4 changes, and then we have what appears to be like a filament jam. But it's down in the tool head, so it's something with the cutting macros. And we've made sure that we've got rid of all tip forming whatsoever. Yeah, the only thing I can think of to solve this particular issue on this spool is to like re-spool it on a different spool, but I can't do that right now because my re-spooler, I have to print the hand crank keeps rounding over the rod that you connect the hand crank to. So not a big deal, but keeps me from using it for right now. Okay, we did a poop. Did a kick. And like I said, I like our little poops. Well, it's not going to stay up there, but little poop. We need about 56 of those. We're getting really good at these first few layers, though. Oh, and by the way, that the second printer that I was trying to print the lanes on for the next ArmoredTurtle, I don't know why, but that lane was not sticking. It warped again. even after putting Vision Miner on it. So I'm just going to print it over on the, I'm going to have to do all the prints over on the other one. Come on, Boxy. Yeah, and so I've got two turtlenecks, which are the buffers on order, and I've got the ASC light boards, so the actual board designed for box turtle. So that's coming in. I had the belay over there. If I can find my collets, if not, I'm just going to order some collets so I can get a belay built. Hey, Westry, how are you doing? Well, we're crossing our fingers, Westry, because we've gotten this far before, and then the filament changes where it's been giving us problems. But like I said, it's been down at the tool head. It's nothing with the box turtle. The box turtle's functionally working. It's the tool head. And we just did a bunch of stuff to ensure that we should be cutting the filament. You're getting coffee? Should swing by with some for me. That's good news to hear, Jen, or Miss Dragon. Yeah, it's funny how, I'm unmuted, right? Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Dang it. Stop this insanity. What the F? So this right here is the bane of my freaking existence right now. So I decided to stop it because it's jamming again. Yeah, I think now, because I'm pretty sure the cutter is working. So we start off, we printed with green, right? So let me make sure we stay at least 175. We're at 175. Well, crap. It's gonna make me home before it'll let me do anything, probably. But let me unload a lane. There we go. Okay. So that's the filament cut out of lane one. So the cutter's working. Yeah, the cutter's working. That is a cut tip. That is not a form tip. That is it's hard to see, but that is a cut tip. Okay? So the cutter is working. What's not working is the cut and leave a little bit in there, or actually just do the straight cut with no ramming. So we are going to have to do some type of, I think I want to do some type of retract and then ramming to flush that out some. Because at this point, it's trying to push on that much filament to get it back out. So I don't think it's going to let me do this. Or is it? That eject from the tool head, and you told me to, didn't tell me to go pound sand. Unload tool, lane 4. Yeah, must home first. Okay. Got to cool back down to 145 to do the homing sequence. So it's jamming on the filament load. So right now, to minimize, to ensure it wasn't anything in the modified happy hair macro. Okay, sounds good, Mrs. Dragon. I went back to the standard cut macro. That standard cut macro is just move over and do 2 cutting passes, one quick, one slow. So it's not moving the filament out of the nozzle at all. It's just cutting. Or at least that's all the cutting macro itself is doing. I think on a lane change, it does, I know it does this, I know it does the brush. None of this is moving the extruder. None of part moves the extruder. Kick doesn't move the extruder at all. No E anywhere. So it saves the state on a tool change. Yeah, I don't know. But what I'm thinking about doing now is we're going from X05. I'm going to comment this out one more time. One more. Save and close that. We will rename this. We'll go back to the one where we'll cut and then move it forward. Okay, macro cut, macro cut. Back over here. 150. Let me unload that from lane 4. Too cold, so it's going to warm up to 175 and then do that. what's your tool STN distance and AFC config? Let's find out. I'm having to like move back and forth so I can show the screen and then come back to the other side to read it. Load in. $75. That's tool head sensor to nozzle, and that's 75. I am using the top tool head sensor, not the bottom one. I don't have the bottom one configured. So tool sensor after extruder, no, that probably needs to be uncommented out. And I used all the same parameters that I was using on the Trident downstairs for ERCFA. You had yours set just long enough to bump the filament below, or it would try and jam. I'm not sure I understand where you're going there. Are you trying to say that I need to move my, or reduce that distance a little bit so it goes further in? All right, let me. It should be able to push its way out, but I want to make sure that it can. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this again. Probably going to need to be higher than 175. I should probably double check some measurements. Let me see if the old interwebs has what I need. I want to say I measured everything out before. Hey Chris, how's it going? We're kind of, sort of, probably back where we were before. We may be properly clogged now. Either that or I'm hitting something. Definitely past the cutter. Yeah, so this morning I got up and what I did was we wound up taking the tool head apart and reamed out the M3 nut and the heat set insert some more to make sure that we weren't catching on like a thread or anything. But now that is good and properly jammed. Ay caramba. Yeah, so I'm past both filament sensors. But I'll be damned if I'm getting filament out of that now, so. I mean, there's still filament oozing out, but I'm not getting it pushed down, that's for sure. Thanks for the follow. Is that Etated? Yeah. That's a good and proper jam. Well, I got one more nozzle to put in here, and then I have to just start taking them out of other machines. I don't want to home the attic. Has to make an account to watch on your phone, so I Twitch. Yeah. Twitch can be a pain sometimes. Yeah, I need to pull this down some, and once it's cooled down, I can unscrew that nozzle and see where the issue is in the nozzle. But I think what I wanted to do was, like I said, switch back over to using this for the cutting tip and stuff like that. So the blade position should be at 61 from the nozzle. We would retract 50 millimeters, cut it, and then push it forward. and then push it back forward 20 millimeters. So pull it out 50, cut, and then push back forward 20 millimeters. Where's that Revo nozzle that we took out? Just going to eyeball it for now. So the Revo throat and nozzle itself is 40 millimeters. Yeah, another 21 millimeters to get up to the cutter. And I know there was a file somewhere that had the measurements, like between the sensors and stuff like that, at some point. Maybe I'm just confusing myself and thought I had it. Chris, this one spool of filament I got from you is wound like dog doo-doo. That could be some feedback. Hey, Steve Builds, how's it going? Steve, have you by chance built a Filometrics tool head? Okay. So what we're dealing with is we're trying to the, everything up to the tool head is working great. The issues I'm having is I'm clogging the tool head, which is a Revo, while doing the cuts, and I was doing cuts and trying to push it forward last night, and that wasn't working. And now, yeah. Here's where we're well, you're not going to be able to see it there. That's where we jammed, is right at the heat break. We're right up at the throat. We're about 2 millimeters in is where the filament starts. So yeah, we're not pushing that through. That's way up in the cold zone. Yeah, this nozzle. So definitely got to fix that. I think rather than just doing the straight cut, which should leave it in the, see, that doesn't make sense. Because the straight cut macro was just cutting it in place with no retract and no push forward. It's just cut it. but then we're having to push 60 millimeters through, right? So last try, we're going from an obsidian to a standard nozzle. Still dealing with a 0.6. Hey, Petty Ruxpin, how's it going? So we're close, Steve. The issue is we're trying to get this piece right here and dialed in. And I'm thinking we need to do a retract, do a cut, and then push forward again. And at the very minimum, I need to see, I think we said the Revo was 40 millimeters from nozzle tip to rear. And we're about 22 millimeters from the heat portion to the end of the nozzle. So if we pull back about 20 millimeters, do the cut, push forward, that would keep plastic, that would keep molten plastic from moving out of the hot zone of the nozzle, which should prevent us from having any future clogs, one would think. I'm just mentally trying to think through things. Oh, hey, thanks for the gifting a tier 1 sub to Steve Builds, Chris. I appreciate that. I'm sure Steve does as well. To 20. We're gonna give that a shot. So we swap this out with a new nozzle. We should be good all the way down. We are. Have a clear path now. I now have 2 Revo Obsidian nozzles that I need to clear the plastic out of. Gotta love it. We are reset and we got our 4 lanes going. So let's try a good old send it down range. Get one more try. Hey, Bilal, welcome on in. Yeah, Steve, I jumped on to start a stream. You know, just crunch time last night. We were going to just do this real quick stream and get it printing and be done with it and move on to the next project. And yeah, 8 hours of troubleshooting this nozzle clogging issue. And I went to bed and I'm starting on it again today. So, I mean, here's the little purge poops that it does. So it'll definitely freeze out some filament. Trying to get this macro dialed in. We did verify that the cutter is now working better. We're doing about 16 millimeters of travel on the cutter, so we are definitely cutting the filament. We validated that. Now we're on to cut the filament without clogging the nozzle in the process. So, have you built an enraged rabbit carrot feeder though, Steve? And surely you built one of those. Hey, Nick, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Yeah, the previous version. And were you just doing like tip forming then on that one, or did you have a cutter back on the enraged rabbit carrot feeder itself? Because I mean that might be another solution is once I get the parts to do the snappy, which would be the cutter on the back of the box turtle. Because you'd still want to do some type of tip form. You don't want to just do a straight retract, because then you could have some ugly strings that you're pulling back through your Bowden tube. Oh, thanks for another gift sub for Nick there, KB3D. I appreciate it. I had such high hopes. And I know I've gone through 56 filament changes because I've run this print once before, but I would have to manually respool it because my respoolers weren't working. Hey, Collie72, welcome in. Yes, I hope everybody's doing well today. It will be a somewhat short stream. I will definitely be done before you get online and run your stream. Or actually, your stream's tomorrow, isn't it, Steve? Darn it! But I will be offline probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock today, because I will need to go get Mrs. Dragon at the airport. This is all PLA that I'm using. We're printing at 200 degrees C on a 60 C bed. We are attempting to print on it. This little fella here. It's a nice little 4-color print. No, I'm not. I didn't change the colors to match the color lanes that I have set up here. But we keep getting through a couple of changes and then getting a jam. It's quite confusing. A nice first layer purge there. Yeah, busy but good. I hear Chris is going to stream tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Something about needing to get his black box ready for the show next weekend. I went ahead and fixed that extruder. I need to do a test print on it and make sure everything's working good before the show. But what we've been trying to print here is the box turtle serial print. So don't worry about the white and the top surface finish here. I was way over extruding at the time, but we're trying to do this print. I increased the size to 150 on the X and the Y because I'm using a 0.6 nozzle on this, and you know, it's not very high, but there's about 56 changes in this print, and this is the print that you have to do for your serial request. So, and this one completed with me doing the manual respooling myself because my respoolers weren't working. Now I got the respoolers working, and only 1 out of 4 lights works after I cut the wires and put in quick disconnects. So I am not using a purge tower. My purge is little poops. And I don't have a poop chute yet. I'll have to put a box over here, and I'll probably run a full length one. Because it does this little purge prime poop right here, we don't need to use a prime tower because this primes the nozzle. So there's the cut. Pulls out the filament, respools. So it's respooling this lane, and it should switch over and do the white next. Come on. And it was starting to jam, but I think it caught up with itself. Should be seeing some poop coming out over here. Then it'll brush the nozzle and come back over and kick the poop over. So we want it to do that like 53 more times, 55 more times, something like that. Interesting time. And yeah, we are getting a nice, good, clean cut. So I think we got that part solved. Now it's just getting the ramming fully down. So it never did used to do the little string tail there, but if it's working, I'm not going to complain at the moment. I wonder if that's just oozing as it's doing the filament change. Because we're pulling it up, we're cutting it, we're pushing it back down a little bit, and then we are changing the filament to the next color. Okay, so it's starting to do the purge before it moves forward. Or it's loading the filament before it starts to do the purge. That's why we're getting the tail. And it's doing that right off the back side of the bed. Like I said, I can live with that. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Rizix. I haven't seen it do that. Yeah. So now I have little hold-ons. You can almost make earrings out of those. But yeah, I haven't seen that monitor flicker on and off yet today, so that's good. So yeah, making progress. You confirm this is a nozzle clogging issue, as in filament gets stuck in the heat break. Yes. So this particular one, what we were doing is we weren't retracting at all. We were cutting in place and then trying to push back through it. So now I'm trying to push this much filament through with a new piece right at the top where the cutter's at. So I'm trying to push 61 millimeters of filament through. So what I did was I'm now retracting this distance. So we're pulling the filament up to the top of the heat break, doing the cut, and then doing a re-ram back down, and then pulling that cut filament out. So when we load the next one, it comes down and it pushes it out. But this one is clogged. We're like 2 millimeters from the top of this piece here. So I'll be having to heat this up and push through it. It's a good thing these are Revos because at least they're easy to change. If that was a standard V6, that would suck. So this one's fully clogged too, because you can see the tip of the filament still sticking out of that one. So this one's fully clogged. I put this one in a couple days ago and it was working fine, and I just clogged that one. Now it has a standard 06, so non-obsidian in it. And if I want another 06, it's either go to a 06 high flow that I have on hand or go pull one out of another machine if this one clogs. So yeah, just blame the model designer. Yeah. I'm not sure who designed this one. It may be ArmoredTurtle. It may have been one of the other people. But no, it's working. We're farther along than we had been at the end of last night, so that's good. And like I said, when I had them physically cabled up, and I say by physically cable up, I mean wire to or LED to LED wire loops, all four were working. As soon as I rebuilt it and I cut those wires and I put microfit connectors on them to make them quick disconnect, so I could just take one of the respooler heads out a lot easier, I only get one light working. So it's got to be something from the output of this one to the input of this one. But I pulled both of them out today, and the wiring is correct from output to input because this is the first one in the chain. So that's correct. I validated that the solder joints were correct. So I'm kind of at a loss right now. Um, oh, you mean from the top of the Revo to the cutter? It's a 2 millimeter inside diameter. Yay, Miss Dragon's boarding. So let me take a quick gander. Yeah, so we might be able to go to 1 today. Like I said, I can live with that extra little tail. for now. It hasn't jammed. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that whole 9 yards. Yeah, the little stub that's between the top of the Revo and the 3mm nut that is right below the cutter, that is a 2mm inside diameter. Everything else is, I believe, a 2.5 inner diameter. So everything from here to the box turtle and everything inside the box turtle is 2.5 inner diameter. And so the other thing that I need to do, don't you start that, is either get the belay going, which will add a little bit of a buffer between the extruder motor in here and the extruder on the tool head, because what they're doing is they're syncing these two together, and they're going to be slightly off. So doing like a small buffer like belay or turtleneck, which I've got on order, which will have the ability to check a couple of different things, but it'll help keep these in sync and give a little bit of a buffer, probably about 20 mil of playroom between the two extruders in case they're not synced up. I agree it shouldn't be the problem, Nick, but that, and I think my distance to the gears may still be a little bit on the high side because I'm hearing it, I'll say skip or bind, where this is shoving it too far into the gears and the gears aren't picking it up yet. So oh, no, Nomi. Once this one's done, I'm going to take it off and probably put it back down on the Trident downstairs for now. And I need to get the red and orange one up here and rebuild the respoolers on it. I'm not going to print out the new latest version of the parts like I did on this one. I'm just going to print out new 24-tooth gears. So here's the thing. We've got a 10-tooth gear on the end of an N20 motor, 6-volt, 500 RPMs. That 10-tooth gear then runs a 24-tooth gear that's around an 8mm shaft. What I did was ream out the hole on that 24-tooth pulley to make it easier to get on the shaft. And I think what was happening on most of my respoolers is that it was turning the 24-tooth gear, but there wasn't enough friction to actually drive the spooler wheels, and it's just spinning the 24-tooth gear around the 8mm shaft. If you don't hear the which extruder are you using? So on the box turtle, and this is slightly older design in the rollers and everything, but each lane has its own extruder. And these are NEMA 14 with standard BMG gears, right? All of it from AliExpress. So crappy, no marking, NEMA 14 motors, BMG gears, non-hardened, none of that stuff. Generic, straight off AliExpress. We have an end stop at each lane, and that identifies the trigger point. And when you trigger that, basically by inserting filament, it turns on this extruder motor. So you have to push the filament to the extruder, and then the extruder will pick it up, pull it down here until it trips another end stop at this end, and then it retracts slightly, and that's a load position. That means this lane is now loaded. There's also a end stop here at the hub that will tell you whether or not there's stuff still in the hub on a failed retraction or a failed load. Apparently I was doing some maintenance on this earlier. So that's basically how it's working. There's little motors in here to run the respoolers. Those are currently going over to a MOSFET board. And the MMB is running these 4 extruders, all the end stops, and then sending signals over to the MOSFET to turn on one of the 4 motors up front. So it's a pretty simple design. There are custom boards that have been designed. I do have a couple of them on order. Once I get those, we will build one of these with one of those instead of a Big Tree Tech MMB and a MOSFET combo. Yeah, and then, of course, this is standard stealth burner with just a Nomi on the front, so it is a CW2 stealth burner. So Nomi, I am planning on bringing this Trident with the red and orange box turtle on it. The blue and white box turtle is most likely going to be over at KB3D's booth. And we might try and see if we can get it running on like a Rook. Maybe. I need to check out on the Discord server and see if anybody's using a Orbiter 2 sensor. Because the Orbiter 2 is just running custom macros. So basically I'd have to turn off its filament load macro and run these macros. So I just have to figure that one out. You cannot make it orange for KB3D. Well, I mean, that was the thought between the orange one, but the orange also goes well with this one, orange and red. But I'm actually reprinting the skirts for this now. And I'm doing the pretty mesh ones like I have on the red and gold or red and orange one. And then I'm thinking I can go out and cut 2 more frames, and I'll have the parts, the motors and everything should be in today or a couple of days from now. And I was thinking I've got some metallic blue and metallic green ABS by Polymaker. So I was thinking about doing the blue and green as a third one. Yeah, so I think this is just it loading back in the filament that's causing that. So as it's ramming it to the tool head, it hits the gears, and then you'll hear this one stall out. And so that's where I'm saying I think I can turn the length down just a little bit. Like, not a lot, like maybe 5 mil to start with. And see if that helps. But we went from, so the design has changed a lot. So we went from rear idlers like this that could slide forward and back, because this locking piece never really worked well. And you wind up using 4 heat set inserts, 4 screws, an 8mm shaft, and 2 608 bearings. So the only thing that you needed 608 bearings for was this. All the other bearings, the main part of the bearings that were in here were M148 ZZs. I think that's the right one. MR148ZZ bearings. And the new idlers are 2 printed halves with a printed screw in the middle and M1488s on each side. So in essence, what we did was we got rid of the need for one type of bearing, and we're getting rid of a lot of hardware. We've reduced the hardware count. I say we. The team working on this has reduced the hardware count considerably, to the point when I took the first set of parts that I took apart, I'm trying to get the heat sets here. So that's all the heat sets that I've recovered that didn't go back in when I rebuilt it, which also means that's a whole slew of screws that didn't go back in, right? And then there's also, so like on the lights, they used to be held in place with M3x6 flathead screws. Well, now they're a friction fit hold-in. The backers of the light that hold the LED used to take 2 like M2x6 screws. We've gotten rid of those completely, and it's now a clip. So we've reduced the BOM a considerable amount, and I would probably say that the heat set inserts are probably about half what they were originally. Well, and it's not just every screw, but it's different types and sizes of screw. Like for the idler on the extruder, you still need, I think it's like a 25 or 30mm screw, right? You're not going to get away from that. You need something to hold the shaft in. It can't just be a shaft. So you need those screws, and you only need 4 of them. It's the only time you need something over an M3x8 or an M3x10. And a lot of the changes that have happened, Chris, it was like you at the black box, and when I built the test rig by Iconic Fab and stuff like that, in the self press by Iconic Fab as well. ArmoredTurtle was sitting here watching me on stream, and as I came across issues or things were just fiddly, he was sitting there actively making changes in CAD or writing down notes to make changes in CAD. So there's been probably 6 sets of parts since I built the original one of these. And I built the original one about a month ago. And yeah, I did print the one-piece trays out. So yeah, it adds a little bit more material because you have supports, but reducing 4 heat sets. Well, no, between the trays that I have over there, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 heat sets and 8 M3 screws. On these lanes, I have 2 heat sets and 2 screws, and the 2 screws are to hold on the extruder. So we took the extruder from requiring 4 screws to only 2. So, like I said, just reducing the overall cost. Oh, that's good. I had that sitting off the wheel. No wonder it was going weird. Yeah, it went from 118 down to 70, so we got rid of what? God, public math, 48. So yeah, almost in half. And the default macro for the poop and kick happens over on the back left corner. I moved mine over to the right because that's where I have my brush. And it reduces it having to travel the full distance along the back to, poop, go brush, come back over, knock it off, go back and brush. So I moved all that over here. Plus, as it was over here doing the poop and kick, it was hitting the cutter with the back side of the, it wasn't hitting the cutter bar, but it was hitting the cutter trigger on the back side of the, the motor mount cable support. But yeah. And then once again, box turtle. You have a couple of shirts. They'll have shirts. They have stickers. Thunderkeys. You got the link for the shirts that you can dump in here, right? Probably should have added that. Actually, what I need to do is take and get that link and post it to all my VODs, both here on Twitch and over on YouTube. Yeah, that's the box turtle stickers, right? Not the shirts. So Dr. Mercy's the one doing the stickers, and then, yeah, Cotton Bureau's the one doing the shirts. And we can probably not probably, but we can definitely tweak these settings. But like I said, it's gonna go because I want this print to finish. Because ArmoredTurtle stayed on stream for like almost all 8 hours yesterday trying to get this thing to finish a print so he can issue me a serial on the spot. But the goal is I think we're at 9 already, or no, we hit 10 already last time I checked. But once we get 25 box turtles serialized under the closed beta, we will switch up to an open beta, and it'll be fully available for everybody. No, I see 6, 7, and 8 have been assigned, so we're up through 8. So number 9 should be available still. And if I get 9, then that means thunderkeys is in double digits. But yeah, these settings can be tweaked a little bit for the poop, but I think the poop is all done in the Python modules. The poop script is not actually, I don't think the poop macro does this, but you might not get 9. Absak is about halfway through his serial print. No! That's okay. I'll take 10. I just want to see if I can get 10 and then 11 real fast. Because if I can get the respoolers fixed on that, slap it up here and get it going, we'll be fine. Double digits are cool. Yeah. Then the real question is, can I get all the parts printed and frame cut and build a third one before you get yours done? No, there's going to be a box turtle at my booth up on the upper deck. DLL PDF, who does have frames that you can purchase for these. Fabrico, KB3D, West 3D, Zombie, and it's like what West 3D, Fabrico, and KB3D are all in the front, are all on that line. Zombie's right across from Fabrico. I know thunderkeys. Yeah, so DLL PDF, West 3D, Fabrico, KB3D, Zombie, me. Okay, so there's at least 6, and 5 of the ones I just named are on the main floor. I'm going to be the one upstairs, and it's going to go on the Trident here. And then the other one over at KB3D's booth, I'm going to try and get on one of the rooks. I just need to figure out how to do the, because it won't have a cutter on it, so I'll have to do tip forming. And I think it was Mylo that had his running on a V0, right? I think it was Mylo that showed it on a V0. Yeah. So if that's the case, then we just need to, I'll need to touch base with him and figure out, see if he can help help me get it done faster. It'd be great to have a printing one both upstairs and over at KB3D's booth. Stop that. As long as he doesn't hit E-stop again, yeah. Put some tools away. Yeah, so I don't want to mess with it now that it's printing before 3D Printopia, but when I get back, I'm going to be swapping these over to the Nighthawk self burners. And when I do that, I will have to move the X end stop and go sensorless homing on the X. So I'll do sensorless homing on X. Y is still physical at the back. We'll be able to run it either umbilical, or a thought that I had was actually putting the cable chains back on and running it through the cable chains, because I don't like how this is flopping around at the back. And some of these changes happen so quick because I'm using a 0.6 nozzle. Is basically on the T, it does just the 2 lines real fast, and then it's done with the T. If I was using a 0.4, it'd have to make at least 2 trips around. Yeah, Freeheathen, so far we've got success. There's our poops. We're getting, like, our poops should look like that. But for whatever reason, I'm now getting little stringers on them. but I'm going to be fine with that. I can work on that later, but I want this print to finish. Because then we'll have a first successful box turtle print that was fully run by box turtle with no intervention. Oh, and free then. I'm not sure how long you've been hanging out, but I know Bexy was interested. Miss Dragon is on the plane. She was delayed about 45 minutes, but she is on her way home. Oh, there you go. Is that the box turtle map? Take a look at that real fast. So we'll have one up at my booth over here. We'll have one at DLL PDF, one at West 3D, one at Fabrico. Zombie Hedgehog will have one. KB3D is going to have one. Can't tell if there's any others. Not seeing any more there. Okay. You need to build a third to get Gloop to host it. That way you get full floor coverage. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, and Gloop and filament storage is that filament storage? Yeah. All right, next to each other. She's huge. Actually, what we need to do is get one on LDO's table and get Jason looking at it so he can help us. But yeah, that'll work. Does anybody know who 3DS HQ is? I'm assuming that may be like 3D Shack. I don't know. I've never heard of this company. Yeah, I figured he'd be interested in doing a kit. I mean, this right here has LDO written all over it, especially as an add-on for people that have Clipper, because this will work on anything that's running, I'll say, vanilla Clipper. So you can't do it on a Creality K1. You can't do it on a Bamboo Labs. Anybody that's running I mean, you can do it on a K1, but you're going to have to probably jailbreak it, right? Because you have to load on the AFC Clipper add-on, which adds some Pi modules and stuff. So you'll have to have access to the host to do that. So if you can jailbreak it, then yeah, you can do it. But and what is 3D ship? 3D Supply headquarters. Okay. Okay, so there are filaments. Request meeting, get a quote. Okay, well, if they say get a quote, that means it's outside of my price range. Now it's PLA and so okay, so they've got partnership with different filament companies. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to check them out. Get back over here to the main show. You have to ask, you can't afford it. Yep. But we've got a good print going. So I'm trying to think. Have you ever seen this trident? Can't remember. It's the one that Chris made the custom vinyl panels for. Not next weekend. You got to come by the booth and check it out. Now I want to talk to EPAX 3D again at the show. They're local to me here. But I really like their filament, and I've been going through their filament, and then I use their spools to re-spool stuff on for the bamboo. But they're local to me, and they have their warehouse is in my town. But their warehouse is here in Sanford, but they're based out of, I think they're in Cary, which is in the Research Triangle Park of Raleigh, Cary, Durham area. Working pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a couple of more. Are you bringing Revo nozzles, Chris? Did Chris take off? Uh-oh. No. He hit E-stop at 91%. Was it on accident? Oh, that would suck. Yeah, it was a mistake. Oh my God. Yeah, that would make me cry. That would make me cry. Okay, well, you finished, so that's good. That's not gonna... won't get mad at you now because. All right, one more plate and I'll have all the new skirts done for this. So. Gotta be close. Yep, gotta be close. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I said, I'll take a stringy poop for now. And I'm hoping it finishes in the next half hour because I'll need to take off now that Mrs. Dragon is a little bit later. I think I can go till 1 o'clock. Maybe realistically a little bit more. Alexa, stop. By the way, it's a Kungber, Kungber. This is a 30 volt, 10 amp bench supply. This came in handy in trying to troubleshoot these motors because I wasn't sure if I had crap motors or if we blew the motors or whatever. And we were trying to do a workaround where we just did a power brick with one of the the adapters that come out with 2 lines and go into a buck converter and drop it down to 6 volt to try and run the motors. And that's where we realized all the motors were working, so there had to be a physical thing. So I reprinted all the parts between streams, ordered one of these, and this made it a lot easier because I set it for 5 volt, 2 amp, and then we were able to bench test all of the motors before we built everything and installed them in the box turtle. I'm sorry. Let me finish the peel because we didn't do that on stream. Because the little peel tab just came straight off. So yeah, you bench tested all your motors. Yeah. And you got to be careful too, like most of the people where you can get those N20 motors from will have them, you know, it's like 3, 6, 9, 12 volt. Doesn't matter, all of them will take 12 volt. But they also have the different RPM gearboxes. So you definitely need to get a 500 RPM gearbox. And I ordered some from Amazon and they came in and my order said 6 volt, 500 RPM N20s. What I got was 6 volt, 30 RPM gearboxes. So I'm taking those and sending them back. Luckily, the same day my AliExpress order came in with a set of 4, so I've got the motors I need for the next one. I also bought some from Ishix because he's got some now local in the States. So got an affiliate link for Amazon for that. I'm in the market for a new bench supply. Yes, give me 1 second. Actually, I'll do it over on this side. Give me 1 second. I definitely got you covered. You go away, you go down there, you come over here. Yeah, we streamed for 8.5 hours last night. And there's the affiliate link for that power supply. It's in the video description of 2 streams ago. But yeah, that's the, oh wow, that big crazy stuff. Let me see if I can fix that. It's still breaking that link up. All right, hold on a second. Vision Miner 1. All right, it is coming up though. Hey, ArmoredTurtle. So the tool head's doing good. We are still getting a few skips here and there, but it has continued to poop. And my poops have grown tails, but I'm fine with that. So after we clogged yet another nozzle, what I did was I went back to the older, the more complicated Happy Hair one. And we decreased the distance because what was happening was I had it set to retract 55 millimeters. Well, this entire thing from nozzle to top of the heat throat is 41.5 millimeters. So I'm basically pulling it all the way out of the Revo, cutting, and then trying to ram it back down part way in the Revo. So this one is fully clogged. I'm gonna have to like heat it up and slowly push through it. But what I did was I changed to like pulling it up 20 millimeters, which brings it right to the top of the melt zone. Then it cuts and then it pushes it back down part way. So yeah, so now I've got this working. We've conquered that. We haven't had another issue since then. The other thing I did was I'm now traveling about 16 millimeters on the cut. And I'm still doing a double pass, but I am hearing a consistent cut on the first pass. Just leave it in there. It's more waste, but it doesn't bite me. Yeah. What the heck was that noise? It was just that pulling down. But yeah, I'll be able to tweak this a bit more. But we're doing good. We're being successful so far. We're about 70% done. I'm trying to think what else. I thought that we might have been hanging up at the cut zone. So we did take the tool head back apart, and I took a reamer to the nut and the heat set insert for the fill matrix and took them out to 3 millimeters with the reamer to get rid of any steps or lips left over from the threads. And so that helped a little bit as well. Oh, thanks. Why not? Because I think my initial travel distance is a little bit too far because it's hitting and then stalling the extruder over here. So my initial distance to the gears is a little off. But other than my poops getting additional tails all of a sudden, it's working good. Kicked every time. I'm getting a nice, good, consistent poop blob. So the other thing, and the reason the side panel is off here, is I noticed that this whole thing was rotating some. So one of the screws wasn't tightened down all the way, and you can only get to this one screw by having the panel off. So I took the panel off and I went ahead and added washers underneath the screw heads to give them a little more purchase, and got these tightened back down. And then, like I said, we wound up changing this out for a 25 millimeter screw, and we're set to travel about 16 millimeters now on the cut. So we are getting a good cut. So my plan is to have this trident and one of the box turtles up at my booth, as well as the black box, which is a 5-head tool changer. So I'll have changing filaments and changing actual tool heads. And I'll say on this print, there is a good deal of waste on like doing the T's and stuff, because I'm using a 0.6 nozzle. So it's basically one line. So there's a lot more waste because of the poop in that case, but it is what it is. Who knows, maybe we'll get this done and I'll throw some ABS on here and print some parts for the next box turtle. So I've got options, and like I said, I really want to do, I've got metallic green and metallic blue ABS by Polymaker. So I'm thinking about doing those. Then I also have Galaxy Blue, the Ambrosia Midnight, which is a purple. I don't think this is ABS. This is, it is Fusion Filaments Heavy Water Blue. That's a nice color as well. I'll bring you guys in close to the print as it gets ready to do this next change. So print's coming really well. Yeah, Absak is racing for 09 right now. So I tried working on the lights this morning, and I took out lane 1 and lane 2, and the light on lane 2 is correctly like input to output wise. And I double checked all the solder joints. The only thing I can think of now is it's in the microfit crimps. So I may have to go and redo that. And of course, that may require me to just redo the wiring because the wiring is fairly tight right now. And so we're at layer 17 of 30. We really need to figure out how to get status up on the NAMI. I mean, I know it shouldn't be that hard, and I know that was one of the things that Milo was talking about. I think it was Milo or Longshot, one of the two. They said that it is on the back burner. Well, that'd be pretty cool to have it say like load, unload, whatever the procedure it's doing. And I really need to do like a belay or turtleneck. I'm trying to remember, did you say you'd have turtleneck at the show or not? Can't remember. I ordered 2. I ordered 2 turtlenecks, and then I ordered 2 of the AFC boards from Ishik. And according to UPS, they're on their way, or at least he generated the shipping notice. I think it's tentatively Thursday. So I'll get it in right before the show. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you can, that's great. If not, no worries. I'll wait. It is what it is. I say that now because, we're in crunch time to get to the show, and my wife, I'm picking my wife up at the airport today, and then the day after the show. So Monday we'll drive back from Maryland, and Tuesday she gets on a plane again, and then I'll be impatient again because then I'm by myself and have nothing to do. But man, I need to tinker with something. I need something new to tinker with. Like I'm still waiting on the positron. I'll be getting something from Rat Rig to build. I got to make sure that I can do that on stream because it's a beta build. If I can't do it on stream, that'll be sad, but hey, it'll be straight up video content, I guess, for YouTube that I can release when I'm allowed to. Hey, Heathen. Love you guys. Take it easy. Have a good one, Beans. But front, back, be one side done. One more side. I'm gonna say you did make the sides a little thinner, huh? I wonder if anybody noticed that the sides are a different depth than the front and back. So, current skirts, new skirts. A lot shorter. So, a lot, of course, you're going to use less filament in doing them. But it's filament off, I'll say, the back side. So they won't be as deep front to back, but you'll get more room on the back to work with. Allows for more cable management room, yeah. These will be the side ones anyhow. So the front and back will be the older version. I'm not going to try and reprint those now. I'm pretty sure I've stuck on the metallic green, metallic blue for the next one. So we're on layer 19 of 30, so we're getting close. I need a new M3 heat set because I snapped the tip off of mine. Yeah, heat set tool. Hey, thanks for the follow, Absak. I hear we're racing for serial number 9. I'm at layer 20 of 30. Yeah, this is crazy. We were on stream for 8.5 hours yesterday. I had this back assembled because we had the extruders and everything reassembled. It was just assembling it back into the main package and running the wires. We had that done in like the first hour and a half, and the next 7 hours was troubleshooting this, and we had the tool head apart like 5 times now. You're at 28. Well, don't accidentally hit the emergency stop. Again. So yeah, after this last iteration, I've started developing tails on my poop. And the poop's the same, but I'm developing tails, so something's slightly off. But oh well, I can deal with that. You only printed the thingy twice? Well, lucky you. I've got several. And several that we just threw away as well. So, but that's okay. We learned. We learned. We've learned. It's all about learning and tuning, right? Okay, so no tool head cutter, only tip forming, and a single sensor before. It's going pretty well. Gotcha. So I'm doing cutting, and which will add a little bit of time to it. So I'm doing cutting, and I do have both full sensors, but I think we're only keying on the one beforehand right now. Awesome, Absak. Congrats. Oh yeah, the last couple of layers, because everything's kind of doming up, so the last couple of layers are just the letters, and it'll go real fast once it hits that. Cool. Looks like Absak's going to get 9 and I'll get 10. That's cool. I'd love to take the rat rig to the show, but that beast ain't getting in the truck. Oh, this one, yeah, this is the, let's see, I started off, I did a V0, then I did a 2.4 Bay Dragon, and then we did this one. And KB3D did custom vinyl for it. He's actually designed my logo. This is the logo that I'm using on the channel now. And, you know, he designed these, so I've got custom panels on it. And then, yeah, the rat rig, which right now, the rat rig's got a bunch of stuff sitting in it, but it was just printing like yesterday, printing some parts for Modlight, one of my channel members. But it's got the skirts to replace the skirts on here. It can store some extra filament, and it's just got some extra stuff where we've been testing some things for this build. So I need to clean that up, and we're going to take that one apart and take the re-spoolers and rebuild them. We're not going to upgrade them. We're just going to rebuild them based on the build issues that we had in the blue and white one. So hopefully that one should be up and running by the end of the weekend. And then, yeah. Then it's crunch time to get everything ready for the show. I just need to run a print on the black box to make sure everything's still going good on it. And I've got 2 rooks and a V0 sitting downstairs on the dining room table that my wife's going to yell at me about. But the 2 rooks are definitely going to the show because one's been at KB3D's booth for the last 5, maybe 6 shows. And then it was a Rook 2020 Mark I, and then the Rook 2020 Mark II is a brand new build that actually has KB3D branding down on the deck panel and stuff. So working on flashing MMB. Okay. I've got to be careful because this one is using an MMB V1. The red and orange one's running an MMB V1. The other 2 MMBs that I have down here that I was going to build with are 1.1. And there's 2 pins that are rolled on them. So you got to make sure that you get the, verify your pins. Yeah, I'll tell you this. If I can get it to work on an orbiter using the orbiter sensor, even if it's just tip forming, and do tip forming and then snappy, which is the E-Rec mounted to the back of this, to me that's even better because it reduces the complexity at the tool head. And the thing I like about the orbiters and why I'm running the orbiters on I run them on my Mercury's 01s. You can even run the Sherpa Mini with the tool head sensor right at the top of it. And I've got the files to print those out. It's just an end stop right at the top. They're open. You can easily get to them and do maintenance on them. They're a lot easier. You don't have to tear as much apart like you do here. But I like the Sherpa and the orbiters very much. I've already got the Sherpa, the smart filament sensor to put on the rat rig, and it uses an EBB42. I do have the orbital tool board to put on it. I'm debating whether or not I want to put the ArmoredTurtle tool board on that or one of my other rigs, because I really want to go IDEX on the rat rig. I see that the kits are out there, but I'm trying to figure out, like, what other combinations do I need? I already have the hybrid motors. I would just need to get the necessary stuff to do the next stage of the upgrade for it. But they're like, do this one for 123, do this one for 228, do this if you want the added parts, like the printed parts. I'm like, well, I'll probably just pay for the printed parts so I don't have to print my own. But yeah, I just need to figure out what I need. But there's still like a 8-week lead time, so I got time to think on it before I order it. And right now, I just want to print with the sucker. It prints beautifully. It prints beautifully. But yeah, I think it would be a little bit better to not have the stealth printer, but have something that's a little easier to work on. All you need is a sensor. You need one sensor in the tool head. I would say preferably before the gears, because then you're tripping and you can say go this much further and you're in the gears. Whoa, respooler didn't work. What was that about? Why'd you flake out on me for that one? Not doing that. But I like the orbiter on my, because I got them on my Rook Mark IIs, and the nice thing is you, I just take the printer over with a power supply and I drop it at KB3D's booth, and they're like, "You got printer food for it?" I'm like, "Yeah, here's a roll," and they just load it up and start hitting print because they're so used to printing the same files on it at every show. And all you have to do is you don't have to mess with it or anything. You just put the filament in, and the load macro kicks in automatically. There are songs submitted. Just gotta wait for Robert now, I guess. Yeah, Absak beat me, Robert, so he'll get 9 and I'll get 10. Oh, Steve Bills is live doing his members only live stream. Cool. Laptop is dead. You plugged it up, not with your desktop. All right. Um, I'm gonna check on Mrs. Dragon's flight real fast to see when she's coming in. Oh man, we got like another hour. We're good to go until a little after 2. So we will get this done. Absak sitting there in Discord is like, now that I've got this done, I can now print the skirts for BoxTurtle using BoxTurtle. So he wants to do the multicolor and not do color swaps. Just let the BoxTurtle do it. And that is a thought. Like I said, I can throw some ABS in here and start doing, because I got 2 spools of each color, so I can start running some parts off on this and other parts off on the bamboo. Are you going to finish the tuning of the ERCFA V2, or is it a lost cause? Your ERCFA V2 is still undependable. So here's the issue with that is, one, I took the board out of it to build a BoxTurtle, right? So I'd have to put the board back in it, and I would have to reinstall the Happy Hair software because I removed that, thinking that might have been causing some issues compatibility-wise with having that and the software on it for this. So this BoxTurtle was always planned to go on the Trident 350 downstairs. Right now the ERCFA is sitting, the ERCFA is sitting right over here. So there's ERCFA. I was still having issues. I think the D shaft that's going through here is bent, and I'm still getting inconsistencies in the loading and stuff. So yeah, it definitely needs to be tuned further. And I had a couple of parts on like the legs that broke. So I have to reprint the legs in a couple of places. The thing is if you mount it on its legs, there is so much weight from here back because of the buffers that it keeps trying to cantilever, right? So the balance point is off, especially when you have electronics and everything on the back. So all of your weight is towards the back side of this. So I had it mounted on 2020 extrusions that were then mounted on the top, and I broke the mounts on the extrusions, and I broke one of the feet. That foot right there, I think. Which one? This one. This foot here broke. It's I don't know. I think I have to do vertical rails this way and then mount that on horizontal rails or something, or make a box. But I want to continue with that one, but my other ERCFA V2 kit is going to be a giveaway. Oh yeah, yeah. This right here is going to go better. Yeah. that has 12 lanes on it, but now you have to figure out how to manage 12 spools. Yeah, it has a buffer in it, but you still have to load 12 spools somewhere around the printer, right? That's a space constraint. These, you can create a rack and stack them up. We've got the, oh, where the hell did I put the groupie? We've got groupie, which is a 4-into-1 with an end stop so you can tell when groupie's loaded. And this will allow you to do a buffer, or, you know, and link 4 of these together. So, yeah. And here, technically, if you want, mount your ball and your end stop in here. There's nothing that would prevent you from mounting that on top of the tool and doing a 4-into-1, just like a AMS Lite on an A1 or an A1 Mini. You'll move it to 6mm collets to clean up the path. Okay. So what you're saying is just go and buy like 100 6mm collets now. Yeah. So which ERCFA board are you using? Here's the deal. If you're running the ERCFA Easy board, it won't work because there's not enough ports on here. You need 4 motors, and we're using almost all of the ports. So what you've got 9 end stops, the RGB, and you need 4 more pins to trigger the respooler motors. So this won't work. You could possibly make it. I know some people were looking at using like an octopus or something like that. The MMB works. The MMB works well. That's what I'm running right here. And then there's going to be a purpose-built board. It's called the AFC Lite. Yeah, the spare SKR Pico it is. You'll have 4 motors. Yeah, you should be good. You'll need so if you're going to use an SKR Pico, then you also need like a MOSFET still to trigger your sides. But yeah, somebody serialized a box turtle with an octopus. I mean, technically you're doing CAN bus, so nothing says that the board has to be contiguous. You can run 2 of those rabbit boards. Oh, I think I still have 1 or 2 of the, no, I think I got rid of the mellow ones I had. Yeah, it might not. I'd have to look at the board and check it out. Just like I said, you need 9 sensors. And if you do snappy, which will add the cutter to the back of the box, you'll need a servo motor. So you have to use a servo motor port for that. And move or not move, but you know, you'll use the dedicated servo motor port for that. And then you still have the available pins to run a MOSFET or 4 external MOSFETs for your N20s. AFC Lite is the only board on the market that lets FoxTurtle be fully featured. And you can pre-order yours now from Isix Tech. Somebody has that link. Feel free to drop it in there. In the end, the custom PCB will be the one that'll work the best since it's made specifically. Exactly. And that's why my trad rack, I did go and get, because when I first built my trad rack, I was using the ERCFA Easy board that I just showed you. And I bought one of their Constellation boards that they designed for the trad rack. So that's where I said I need to still rebuild my trad rack. And I'll probably only make it like a 4-lane because I want a trad rack and stay all annex engineering on the K3. But well, you need 4 extruder motors. So you need 4 like TMC 2209s. So as long as the clipper extender gives you additional motors, because the Easy boards only have the 2 motor slots on it. You need at least 4 motors. Oh, there you go, Absak. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the... So Isix has way too much, like, I want to spend way too much when I come out to his site, but he's got the AFC Lite. This is the controller PCB, 2209 step sticks, the 6-volt, 500 RPM N20 DC motors that you'll need, the stainless fastener kit, and a full bomb. So I don't know what turtle bombs. Oh, these are the stepper motors that we use for the extruders, and they're sold out. He's still getting them. I think he ordered like, what did he get, like a lot of 100 motors or something like that, or more. He got some big lot of motors. But the controller boards, what, $70 pre-order. You'll need step sticks. I didn't get step sticks because I have them, but yeah. Yeah, there's a way. I mean, there's always going to be a way that you can build it, right? That's the nice thing about this being open source, is you don't have to do it any one given way, right? Like right now, we're using cheap, non-branded, really motors for the extruders, but nothing says that you can't go and buy hardened Bondtech gears from, you know, KB3D, West 3D, or directly from Bondtech, and some high temp LDO NEMA 14 stepper motors. You can. But yeah, so Isix is looking at full kits from around $299, and will that be frame and everything? Or is that just the parts sans frame? Everything sans printed parts? Okay. Yeah, it would be cool if they had an option of, you know, full up kit, but if you wanted to go get specific color from DLL PDF, that you can drop the, you know, I don't know, $5-10 for the extrusions. drop the price so you don't get a set of extrusions and go buy one from DLL PDF, and then you just got 8 pieces of extrusion sitting around. And oh, by the way, I'm not even paying attention. We're done. We're done. This is it. We are an hour and 50 minutes, 22 seconds on a 12-minute, 40-second print from what Orca Slicer said, because it didn't account for any of the tool change cutters and stuff. So there we go. We got a little bit of fuzzies and blob. I don't know what that's from, but here we go, Turtle. Thanks, Glenn Kaufman. It's only taken me, like, I expected this to be done like yesterday, and we did, what, about 6.5 hours of troubleshooting last night on it, and several more hours, or not several more hours, but yeah, I guess a couple of hours this morning playing with it. I still think my first layer is a little bit too smushed because I'm getting a little bit of elephant's foot, but that's not a box turtle issue. That's a printer issue. But yeah, there's my box turtle. A little bit of tuning, but we're there. Yeah, like I said, I get some gaps on the top, but once again, I'm using a 0.6 nozzle, and I'm sure this was designed for a 0.4. So if I swapped out to a 0.4, this would probably be a lot better. Bring your own filament electricity and head. Yep. Yep. And like I said, it generated a decent amount of poop. And up until just recently, I was just getting the poop itself and not this long tail. So I need to figure something else out that changed. But there we go. We're good. And I know ArmoredTurtle was saying, just do the cut, don't do the, just do the cut, don't do the little retract and, just eat the filament, which I understand. It's going to do the purge out anyhow, so the purge is the same amount. So doing the retract and cut isn't going to change that. I think my first layer is just still too squished. The offset go up 0.1. Save. Okay. So other than the lights not working, we've got a good print here. I need to submit serial. We got 10. Absak is 9. Is Teddy calling out number 10? Killing me. Congratulations, Digital Dragon, BTT 10. Awesome. Thanks, bud. So we got 10. We've got our first successful print. What I need to do is get the panels back on this, move this back over into the corner so that we can bring the other printer over here, or the other printer, the other box turtle over here to work on. I'm going to throw this stuff away. I do need to kind of not terminate, but, you know, start closing down the stream for now. I am going to try and put the panels back on and get this moved over. We can continue to chat while I do that. But it's printing. We're doing good. That's awesome. I'll try and print some box turtle parts on this for the next iteration. I need to get my other panels on here now that things are going good. And then move it, like I said, move it back over to the other table because I need the workbench to work on the next one, or the second one that I had built, to fix my now known assembly mistakes. Like I said, we'll try and throw some ABS through this soon. I don't know if anybody's tried box turtle with ABS yet. I'm assuming somebody has. There? Way up there. Don't know if there's any gotchas with that. All right. Side panel back on. Need to disconnect the hub. Oh crap. Can't disconnect the hub because I still have filament loaded in it. That's boy howdy. Let me turn this sideways a little bit so I can get the handle on here. Why are you not getting in there? Aren't you? Stop messing with me. Over. Like that. In your slot. There we go. Oh yeah, I printed my turtle in ABS. I'm talking about has anybody run ABS through their turtle? Yep, we're serial mates, one right after the other. All right, this is powered down. Unplug, unplug. I'm going to have to move this in one shot because I still have filament actually in the darn thing. Guess I should put my cable or clips on here. Oh, you meant you did your serial in ABS. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I get it now. Yeah, I was running mine in PLA just to work on it because I knew I was going to need to have it open to tweak things. And man, if we were trying to do ABS and I had to keep taking the top on and off, or not top, you know, open everything out, let it cool down, get the cool head off and stuff, that would have been a bloody nightmare. Get to those. On, up on. Dang it, why are you being a pill? Go into slot. You. There we go. Makes for 11 and 25 bowls of cereal. Uh-oh, who just got number 11? Or wait, you started with 0, right? Because you're 0? We're about halfway there. Let's see if we can come out of Earth with 25. That would be cool. Or 3D Printopia with 25. That would be kind of awesome. Get a booger as you've got. Yeah, he has 0. Okay, yeah. That so 0 through 10 would be 11. Cool. How's it going, long shot? Got to give another shout out. Thank you for hanging out the whole time. All right, so I still had 2 panel clips to put in, but I need to use my. All right, I'll do the other one later. Say later. I probably mean like now. Now I got to try and move this with Box Turtle on it because I didn't think to move the filament out of it before turning it off. Okay. She's back over there. Plug her back in. we'll get doors on, and like I said, I still need to put the corners on it, but that's not a big deal. And this box turtle, we will be taking apart, not today, not now, but I will be taking this one apart so that I can take the respoolers out and fix the respoolers. And I know what the issue is there from building the other box turtle or rebuilding the other box turtle. So I know exactly what to look for here. And I'm not going to cut the lights on this because that bit me the last time. But same type of thing before, except we're not going to do a full tear down. I'll pull the front extrusion out. We'll pull the lanes one by one, disconnecting the necessary wires, cutting any wire ties. We'll pull the lanes out, and then we'll take down the respoolers off the lane and rebuild those. And once we have those rebuilt and they're back up and running, we'll bench test them, and we'll put the lanes back in and route everything and get those going again. So, cool deal. Thank you everybody for being here. I have got to go and pick up my wife at the airport. So, success. We finally made success. We got the box turtle working. We are now serial number 10 on the blue and white one. So, definitely come see the box turtle in real life if you're at 3D Printopia. I'll have one at my booth. There'll be another one at the KB 3D booth. DLL PDF, West 3D, Fabrico, Zombie Hedgehog. I think that's it. Hey, West 3, how's it going? You need a sticker? West 3 no build? Yeah. Yeah. I can get you a sticker, West 3, if you come to 3D Printopia. No, we can get you hooked up, sis. We can get you hooked up. But box turtle over here is working. I've only got one light right now. I cut the wires and tried putting quick disconnects, and apparently it doesn't like something about them. So I took out lane 1 and lane 2 because it's obviously the connection between 1 and 2 that's faulty at first. So until I can get that one, 3 and 4 have no chance of coming up. And what am I thinking of? I checked the solder joints this morning. The solder joints are good. I did touch them up regardless. It's still not passing. They are wired correctly in series again, because I cut them and terminated them last night, though. Wiring late at night, can go wrong, or not last night, the night before. So the only thing I'm thinking is it might be the crimp. So I might have a bad crimp somewhere. I'll have to look at that. But regardless, we're up and running with box turtle. We're going to do the same thing to this one. We'll get this one, the respoolers on this one working, and then we'll go for serial number 2 of my box turtles. And then I'm going to start printing parts for a third one. We'll see if I can't get a third one built before 3D Printopia, but if not, it'll be after. But yeah, there's a pesky yard demon in the chat. I see. Hi, Nomi. How you doing? How you doing? But yeah, we're doing good. I do need to cut the stream though and go get Mrs. Dragon at the airport. Let me go see who we can raid out to. I think I saw Heathen go online. Free Heathen's online. Yeah, he's the only one other than people that are just doing prints. So we're going to head over to Free Heathen. Yeah, Miss Dragon was delayed but saving batteries, so she dropped offline. She did text me though. She is on the plane. I am checking. The plane's due in about about an hour and 45 minutes. So let me give me an update. Yeah, she's like around Kansas City, Missouri right now. Yeah, she's got about 2 hours left. You're good. You're watching my marathon builds. Yeah, I was not expecting. I was expecting that we would put them lanes back in and it would just work, and then we fought it. But I got news for you. I'm going to take everything we changed in the software config of this and put it on the one downstairs so that when I get this one working and I go to test it on that, I can just take this one downstairs and it works. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay, gang. I'm going to go ahead and get a raid started out to Free Heathen. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for being on this long ride and journey with me. Lots of config changes. Exactly, long shot. Thank you so much for all of your help through the last couple of days. You know, we made progress. We made progress. That's all I can say. That's the good part. We made progress. It is now working. Now we just need to put time on it and prove that it works well. I guess it helps if I click on the start raid button too. But thanks for everybody for being here. Thanks, Trip Father. Take it easy. Royal Nomi, thank you very much. I am going to enjoy time with the wife. And thanks, Mr. Wizard, for being here. I know a lot of you were on the stream very late last night with me and still got up and we're here this morning. So thank you very much. You guys are troopers. And Absak, thanks. You just beat me out. Just beat me out. But that's okay. I'll take number 10. I'm good. Have a great one, everybody. And we'll see you guys Tuesday. I am not planning to stream before Tuesday because I just need to spend time with Mrs. Dragon. But take it easy, everybody. Have a good one. Bye now.